Okay, good morning everyone. So we've heard about the Nervousnet system and the architecture, we've heard about the native Android apps, and I'm now going to talk to you for the only way to make this work on iOS, which will also work on Android, the Webview Axons. So in order to do this, first of all, how do you get Nervousnet running on your iPhone? If you're an experienced Apple developer, you will probably just import the Xcode project from Git and run it in Xcode. If you don't want to do that, you can just go to our GitHub Nervous iOS page. There you will find a sign-up link and you will get an invitation code for Apple's test flight. That's an application that you just install on your iPhone, enter the code, and then you'll be able to download the latest version of the software that we are using for this hackathon. So what about the Axons? How do I get them? First of all, you find our basic example at GitHub. So we have a repository with a basic Axon that that I'm going to show to you later. This is just the framework for what you want to do with Axons. So you fork this repository using GitHub, and then you can get started. You will find the following files in the folder, and the ones that are actually relevant to you are going to be the Axon HTML, which is going to be the user interface of your Axon, the Axon JavaScript, which is going to be the backend of the thing. I'm going to talk to you about how you can get the sensor data and so on later. And the package.json, which is what is going to be on the store itself. The packet.json is going to need to be modified by you in a certain way. So this is what it looks like. For the first time, we'll have some code. So it's basically self-explanatory. You just change the author, the name, the title to obviously whatever you would like your application to be called, and then link to the forked Git repository that you have created, so the code can be pulled from that repository and be run on everybody's iPhone. So let's get to the next step. How do you actually access the data once you're in the JSON? There is detailed documentation online, but I will again just give you a brief example of this in actual code. So here you see just a basic request for GPS data that you can get in your JavaScript code. So once you have set up the basic Axon, you can just access the localhost that is running on the phone through the link given here. Which you also find in the documentation, and this will give you a JSON with the raw sensor data from the sensor that you would like to query at this point. The next step is, for this hackathon, we have a collection of all Axons on GitHub. This looks like that. You will also find a full manual on everything I'm saying now and more on this repository. There you find a folder called testing. So you fork this repository, you put your package.json in the testing folder, and you rename You put your package.json folder in the testing folder of the forked repository. You rename it to the name of your app, and then you can just submit a pull request with us. Since you have linked the other GitHub repository in there, it will then be approved by us, and your code will just be pulled to everybody's iPhone who wishes to run this JSON application. So now, what about debugging? I will first of all show you how the entire thing looks in the end. For this we'll have a short tech demo. So with the Rapid Development app for this conference, you will be confronted with this home screen at first. And as you can see, there is Axon 1. That is one of the ones that we have already installed. But in general, you will just go to Get Axons. There you can see all the Axons that have been approved by us so far and appear on the Nervousnet space. One example would be the graph display. So once your Axon appears here, you can just go to the Axon, you can download it, which will take a second, and then it will appear on the home screen as well. where you can then select it and you see the axon running here. This is an axon that just shows the X value of the gyroscope, so you will find all the basic axons on Git as well if you want to look at them. And our basic sample axon is going to look like this. So you basically just have some code so you know what it should look like, but you can modify this to any extent you want in order to create all the projects that we talked about. If you want to debug all of this, you can just go into Safari. That is not Safari. And in the develop menu, you will find the iPhone that you're running or any simulator that you might be running. And there you can then select the running web app, and you will find a debugging interface as well as an overview of all the elements. That's it for now. Just to give you a quick overview, if you need any help with this, you can obviously approach any of us. We'll be able to help you. And you will find the full documentation on GitHub with more manuals and samples. So, are there any questions at this point?
I have a question.
Yes.
How far is the storage engine implemented yet? What is the way to access recorded data?
Yeah, we do that with core data. I think it's still a little buggy, but we can work it together.
Any other questions? Okay. In that case, thank you very much. And I look forward to helping you and working with you on our iOS project.